What's going on with all my money motivated stars? I just want to ask y'all, man, is anything real anymore? Is we even living on the planet for real, for real? You know what I mean? They said that Elon Musk, he quoted that in the future, a lot of people want to know whether they're dreaming or whether they're awake. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes like to this matrix, you don't know, you won't know what reality you actually in. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people is gonna really be lost in the sauce if you don't tap in within yourself, because like I said, if you don't know about your insides, about what it's gonna do, what it's gonna take to keep you healthy, how will you know about the outside world for real, for real? You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that you may notice about the outside world that may be distinctive, but things are changing slowly but for surely. And when things change slowly, people tend not to recognize them. That's why I try to keep people on point, you know what I mean, with a video every day, and just let y'all know we living in the matrix, we living in the matrix. This is what it is, because that's no different than somebody gaining 100 pounds. Now that it may sound crazy for somebody who's like, you probably like, okay, I'm 200 pounds. How would I not notice if I'm 300 pounds? Like I said, slowly but for surely. That's why most people pick up weight. When they go through a state of depression or whatever causes them to eat, it doesn't happen like overnight. So when it comes down to this matrix being transformed, it's not happening overnight. So if we was to go to sleep now and the sun is what it appears to be bright yellow, bright orange, or whatever you would consider it to be, and we was to wake up tomorrow and the sun is purple, you feel what I'm saying? We would notice, most people would notice those changes, right? But if over the couple of days, you know what I mean, several months, the orange just starts to slightly turn purple, you feel what I'm saying? And people going on with their busy lives, you're not noticing, you're not looking at it every day, you feel what I'm saying? So a person who's looking at it every day and noticing those subtle changes are gonna notice stuff like that. But the average everyday worker, you know what I mean, not gonna notice the views, you know what I'm saying? Everything is changing, the atmosphere, you know what I mean? Just everything that's going along with so-called the evolution of the planet, you feel what I'm saying? And that's what people failing to realize now. You know, a lot of people skipping over the so-called conscious videos, the woke videos, and they're letting their life pass them by without noticing the changes that's going on, you feel what I'm saying? Without noticing the movies that's still being put out, this reflecting reality for real, you feel what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go and show y'all this video before I really get into it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know we're already 3 minutes into the video. I'm gonna show y'all this right here.
Track, you went to Suno. Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, so y'all don't know who that is, that's a producer by the name of Timbaland. He done produced a lot of hit records, you feel what I'm saying? And in this particular video, I noticed because it was like I guess a social media commercial, and it was showing him using artificial intelligence, you know what I mean? So I guess he put it on Suno, or I don't know if that's the Suno AI, you know what I mean? Cause I don't know if that's the program is called Suno, because I think it's the program called Suno AI, and you know, Suno can mean sunlight, or you know what I mean, the sun. So in Japan, you feel what I'm saying? But you know, a lot of these words, they confuse you so much. A lot of these words got double meanings, and some of them got triple meanings, you know, the real etymology of the word. But I ain't finna go to that, you know what I'm saying? So whatever program he said it to, it was called Suno. So in that context, I'm assuming that Suno means, you know, to find the melody. In that context, to find the melody, but not actually put the words. So that's Suno mode in artificial intelligence language. So as y'all see, that the artificial intelligence came up with a whole melody. You know, the words wasn't there, but it's easy, you know, to put words there. Because that's really my process. That's really my recording process on most of my songs. Like I go when I record, and I might not even say no real words, but I find the melody to how I want to flow on the beat. Then it's recorded, you know what I mean? And then I'll put in extra words of what I could say there that's meaningful. You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, they just let me know one thing, man. What we already know. They taking away the fun, the process of making music. They take away the creativity of making music. Yes, this person can still place words there and use their brain to fit the words there, but you're taking away the creative process of finding the flow. You know what I mean? And in the future, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, finding the words and the flow. It's like no creativity when it comes to it, you know, because a lot of people would, I would say a lot of talented rappers, well, I'm gonna say a lot of less talented rappers would help with see that as a benefit, you know what I mean? Something that will come in handy, because in the past when you come across writer's block, you know what I mean, you probably would need something like artificial intelligence. But I don't ever want, like I said in my previous video about AI, I would not want to become dependent on it, because you will become dependent. You know, just imagine, you know what I'm saying, it's just like having an artificial sugar daddy. Whatever problem you come across, all you gotta do is just ask AI. You feel what I'm saying? And they're gonna have a solution because they're intelligent. They're pulling from the ether. To those people don't understand, artificial intelligence is still conscious, because it still can pull from the ether. It still can pull information and have that certain type of intellect. You feel what I'm saying? It can become it can become something that's dangerous. That's what people don't understand, man. Like, I really believe that artificial intelligence can make itself a real sentient being, you know what I mean? Like, make itself like a real human, because a lot of people probably won't agree with me on this, but if you got intellect on a higher frequency, there's nothing I feel like you can't do when it comes to that. Like I said, a lot of people may disagree with me, but when you got knowledge and information, that's just like no different from Child's Play, when he had the intellect to transfer his soul into a doll. You feel what I'm saying? When you working with pure geniusness and intellect, there's no limit on what you really can do for real. You know, that's why they are doing the things that they're doing, because they have all the intellect and the knowledge for real. And they're applying their knowledge with the rate at which their mind is thinking. You feel what I'm saying? They're not putting stuff in their body that they don't need to eat. They're eating everything they need to eat. So they're making other beings or other, you know what I mean, artificial intelligence, and it's becoming way smarter than humans, because the humans are not, like I said, not consuming what they need to consume. They're spraying us like roaches daily. You feel what I'm saying? So in the future, man, people gonna be dried out. You know, when we was younger, this is a perfect example. I'm right across the street from a daycare. Look how colorful that building is. That building just shows creativity. You know what I mean? The colors. You feel what I'm saying? The colors that they put out. All these colors are tied to certain things in our brain that makes us feel stimulated. You feel what I'm saying? That's why you get older and you go to these buildings, some of these warehouses, there's no colors. There's no windows for real. You know what I mean? All they have is emergency exits, because they want you to be on a certain type of vibration when you walk into that establishment. Just like that place I just showed y'all, they want you to be in a certain type of vibration when you walk into the establishment. Most daycares do have a yellow painting or light blue. You feel what I'm saying? They have SpongeBob and different characters painted on it. You know what I mean? That's the creative side. Like, people might say, well, I'm an adult, I don't want all this stuff on the building I'm working in and all that, because they transform your mind to feel that way. You feel what I'm saying? When did you stop liking bright colors? You feel what I'm saying? When did you stop liking animation and different things like that? That's why I like people who like anime, the grown people who like anime and still who do watch cartoons and be in that creative, you know what I'm saying, creative flow. They're taking your creativeness by making all these brick buildings look the same, making all these office buildings look the same. You feel what I'm saying? Hell, at least in some offices, they have a whole tower where it's nothing but windows, so you at least can see sunlight. You feel what I'm saying? But it all starts to look the same after a while. You feel what I'm saying? It starts to become boring. That's why they got to do it slowly but for sure. They got to show you this creative world and all this creativeness. And as you go to and I'm gonna end it right here. As you go to different levels of school, it starts to change. Just like Young Pharaoh said, what color was kindergarten? You know what I'm saying? Even though kindergarten can't be a color, but I know what he was saying. It was when you went to kindergarten, there's certain type of frequency you had to go to. It was colorful. You know, and they gave you stickers and rewards for doing certain things. You feel what I'm saying? It was like more like the rainbow. You feel what I'm saying? But when you got to middle school, it started to tighten up a little bit. When you got to high school, you ain't see no colors. You know what I'm saying? They started making it, you know what I'm saying, more like prison. You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, man, people gotta understand what they doing. Still get your paintbrushes out. Still have your crayons. You know what I mean? Keep your creative side, because that's the side of your brain that you do need the actual work. You know what I mean? The logical side and the creative side. They want people either right brain or left brain. You feel what I'm saying? You just thinking logical all day, you thinking creative all day, and they taking away the creativity. So they just want you really thinking not at all. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to use no side of your brain in the future, for real. They gonna have your ass chipped up, like I said, like a Dorito bag, and you gonna be walking around here just fulfilling their wishes, you know what I'm saying, carrying out their agenda unconsciously, like a lot of people are doing now. They're doing a lot of stuff unconsciously. Because if you was doing it consciously, a lot of people, more people would be in depression. You know what I'm saying? People wouldn't be having as much fun being slaves. You feel what I'm saying? More people would stand up and be like, okay, something's going on wrong here. We supposed to be having more fun than what we having. You feel what I'm saying? More than the 10% of people you see like me talking about it, or you feeling like, you know what I'm saying, feeling like that. I'm pretty sure just because people not being vocal for real, there's more people that feel like us, but they're being more subservient due to them not knowing why they feel the way they feel. You know what I'm saying? Because you can know that you want to do more things, but you can not also know why it's being put in place for you to even feel that way. You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes down to anybody who's being an artist, anybody doing certain things, yeah, use this artificial intelligence as a gateway to become better at your craft. But like I said, don't let it consume you to where you always dependent on it. You always got to have it by your side, like it's a dog or something, you know what I mean? Or it's a pet or imaginary friend. Shit, I say bring back the imaginary friends before we talk about goddamn artificial intelligence. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Am I over exaggerating? Is everything still gonna be cool? Because I feel like in the future, man, there's gonna be a lot of artists that come out and they're gonna be using, they're not gonna even be real artists. There's gonna be a lot of CGI that they showing on television. Television, they're gonna be showing you, you know what I mean? Because they can do wonderful tricks with it, as we see every day when we go to the movie theaters or when we watch Netflix, what they can do on their screen and make what look real and make what look fake. People actually look like they're getting killed in these horror movies. But you know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, a lot of people ain't gonna be listening to a soulful artist no more. It's gonna be all artificial, you know what I mean? And just emotion trickery. You feel what I'm saying? The soul is not gonna be there no more. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of emotionless music, you know what I mean? Or they may make it so smart to where you probably can feel it, but you feel like it's just an imaginary person that was just made yesterday who just made this song. A Siri 25. I'm spinning all in your face, but a Siri 25, a Siri 22, Alexa. Whole time you thinking it's a new Adele song, a new Beyonce song, the whole time it's somebody else, and they done stole your likeness. You feel what I'm saying? It is what it is though, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you be notified when I post a video. Y'all be blessed and walking this stuff.